Good morning. It is beginning of July and I am in the Teanaways on a peak bagging mission. Today I am going to be climbing two peaks, doing the Earl to Bean Peak Traverse. So double summit day, and it is going to feature a gorgeous ridge walk scramble. It is a round 8 miles round trip with, I want to say, 3,600 feet of climbing, and there's supposed to be 3,600 gorgeous feet of climbing, so I am excited. The weather is perfect, the wildflowers are blooming, the mountains are out, so let's go get some summits. Well, I just made the turn off the Bean Creek trail up to the trail that leads to Earl Peak. And this trail that I have outlined for myself today is in a few parts. So the first is the climb up Bean Creek. That's the easy part. The next part is a very steep set of switchbacks and kind of loose scree climb to the summit of Earl Peak, then the ridge traverse from Earl to Bean Peak, which should mostly be class 2 with a little bit of class 3, and then the scramble up to Bean Peak, which is class 3. So really have a little bit of everything today, and I just finished the only easy part, so gonna be doing steep climbing from here on out, but it is going to be worth it when I get to the ridge, and starting to really get a look at some of the awesome rock here in the Teanaways. So the views are gonna start coming once I climb like another 1,000 feet or so. So that is good motivation. Summit of Earl Peak. That final 1,000 feet to gain the summit is steep, slippery scree most of the way up this boot path. But it is so worth it. Panoramic views up here. Ah, this is so cool. Oh my gosh, I am tired after that, so I need to have some electrolytes and a snack and everything, but oh my gosh, this is why you come to the Teanaways. Unobstructed summit views. All right, now for the fun part of the adventure. I'm standing on Earl Peak, which is the tallest of kind of this cluster of Teanaway peaks, and this is the whole ridge that I am taking over to Bean Peak. It's roughly a mile, and it's supposed to be a mix of just scrambling and just ridge hike traverse. It's gonna be really fun. The final summit of Bean is a class 3 scramble, and I'm gonna give the tour from on the ridge so you can see all the peaks. But this is where the fun part begins, and the steepest part is gonna be going down this section. After that, it's gonna be really easy until I get to Bean, but this part is gonna be the worst of it. But it's gonna be gorgeous because I have Mount Stewart and the enchantments in front of me the entire time. Seriously, can't ask for a better view, but I love ridges, so this is what I came for. This ridge is as fun as promised. It is a mix of mostly class 2 with some class 3 scrambling options, and oh, it is so much fun. And the view is incredible. The rock is great. I survived the steep section, came down all that. The rock was, I mean, the trail is loose, but the rock is really solid. And this is just like what I love. Views in all directions. This is why ridges are the best. But also, Bean is fast approaching. So once I get to the base of Bean, I'll be able to give the tour and then do the big scramble of today. But oh man, yeah, this is really fun. I am so glad I did this route. Well, made it almost to the base of Bean Peak, finished the ridge traverse, and now I am climbing again up to Bean. And this is the part where you really want helmets for. I had the helmet on as a precautionary measure and also, you know, good sun protection. But now this is where you want the helmet, and the scramble is going to begin. So this is Bean, and there are a couple of ways up it, but the easiest and the one with the least exposure is along kind of the southwest side, I want to say. If you go too far this way, you get into class 4 territory with more exposure. So we'll follow, take one of the cracks up to the summit. Whew. Should be there within the half hour. That's my goal. I give you the summit of Bean Peak. Oh, the scramble is as much fun as I remember because I have been up here before, and this view is hard to beat. I am tired after having completed that traverse, but Earl Peak all the way up here. Earl Peak to Bean Peak traverse complete. Well, I still have to get back down to the car alive, but the hardest part is over. And since I am up here, I'm going to give the tour here. I was going to give it down on the ridge, but I'm a little behind on time, so gonna do it from the summit. So this is the summit of Bean Peak. That is Earl Peak. That's where I was. This is the ridge that I walked. It was so much fun. And then coming further this way, this is the real view that you climb for. We have the Enchantment Range on full display. You'll start with Mount Stewart. You have Argonaut Peak is one of these. I believe this is Kolchak Peak. This is Dragon Tail, and the cool thing about Dragon Tail Peak is this view shows you why it's called Dragon Tail, because of this spiny ridge. It's just how you'd imagine some kind of dragon's tail to be. And then we've got the ridge over to Little Annapurna, McClellan Peak. You can even see Prusik. And then this ridge, which I did a couple of years ago, this rocky outcropping, that is Volcanic Neck, and the peak behind it is Devil's Head. And then we're getting into more of the Teanaways. I believe we have Esmeralda Peak, and then we have the Ingalls Peaks trio. We got South Ingalls, North Ingalls, Central Ingalls, all really fun scrambles. And then we're looking further into the Alpine Lakes Wilderness. And then this is the continuation of the ridge where you have Mary's Peak and Judy's Peak. And here is Bean Creek Basin. That's the valley that I got to go back out to get to my car. But getting this up close view of the Enchantment Peaks behind me is what you climb for. Oh my goodness. Hello. This marmot just came right up here. Marmot went into his hole. Oh, he is. Oh, hi. Hello, Marmot. He is not terribly shy, which means I'm pretty sure he is after what is in my pack. Hi, Marmot. Aren't you cute? Look at all your little whiskers. I'm gonna go over here so I'm not as close to your burrow. survived coming off the peak, and I descended the very steep boot path down into Bean Creek Basin, which is in full wildflower bloom. These meadows are gorgeous. I remember them from last time I was here, and I am here at the perfect time. Didn't film too much of the down climb because I had to focus, and I just wanted to get back down into the basin. And now I have a pretty easy 3 miles back out to the car, and I'm going to focus the return on the wildflowers because there are a lot on this trail, and I did not get to fully appreciate them in the dark morning light and the shade, so that is what I'm going to be looking at on the way back. But I'm also going to be hustling a little bit. I'm tired. I would like to get back to my car, so it should be a beautiful and hopefully quick 3 miles out of here. Well, I am on the last half mile out of here, and wow, Earl to Bean Peak Traverse. That was an adventure and an amazing way to start off July, and I don't think I could have asked for better conditions. I almost saw nobody on trail at all today. There were just a couple of campers in the basin. No one was on the peaks or the ridge, and the wildflowers are just in prime. Those meadows are stunning. But the ridge and the peaks themselves. Earl Peak, really fun. That's the tallest one on that ridge, so it's really nice to get the vantage. The ridge itself is pretty straightforward. You just follow the main spine, and there's nothing too difficult. You can avoid most scrambling if you look for the right little route. The thing to watch out for, 2 things. There's a lot of steep, loose material, so loose dirt, loose rock, and so you want to have experience running around on that kind of stuff, because that'd be very easy to slip and hurt yourself. And the other thing is, once you get above the tree line, very sun exposed, so bear that in mind for, you know, safety and stuff, and bring all the sun gear. And then Bean is a proper scramble. That is class 3. It is a lot of fun, and I think it's pretty beginner friendly and straightforward. You just want to make sure you don't go too far right or too far left. And there are a couple of options, so you can kind of make it harder or easier on yourself depending on the kind of crevices you work your way up. But oh my gosh, that was so much fun. That was the alpine ridge traverse I had imagined, and I am going to be finishing this out in about 7 hours even. So that was a pretty tough day, a lot of full body workout, but really fun. So highly recommend. Either of the peaks on their own are also very worth climbing. It's a gorgeous area, but yeah, Teanaways are kind of a peak bagger's dream. Anyway, I have gone on long enough, and I got to get back to my car. So thank you so much for watching, and here are my favorite pictures from the trail today. Enjoy.